A 7th grade teacher is suddenly stricken with agonizing stomach symptoms. Her family is terrified.
There were nights I would cry myself to sleep because there was nothing I could do.
The violent and terrifying symptoms are relentless. Her body begins to shut down.
I thought she was going to die right then and there.
Doctors are baffled by their patient's rapid deterioration. Could she die without the mystery ever being revealed? In a St. Louis suburb, 7th grade math teacher Donna Boley arrives at the school parking lot. But something is terribly wrong.
Oh my, watch out.
I realized that my feet were so numb that I could hardly feel the pedals. I was really concerned that whenever I would brake, that I maybe wouldn't even have my foot on the brake and wouldn't know it. So I was scared.
When Donna tries to make it to her classroom, her body is not cooperating.
Oh my God. God, it was the weirdest thing.
My legs were swelling up to the point that my pants that I was wearing were getting tight. I was losing feeling in my hands and in my feet.
All right, you guys, take out your notebooks.
Throughout the day, Donna fights through the pain.
Are you guys copying this down?
She does not want to let her students down.
One of the things that drove Donna was her love of teaching. She has a genuine love of teaching and learning. I think it's just a part of her. I think she needs to be around children. I think she needs to be around students.
Tomorrow, we're moving on to polynomials. Gotta make sure to show your work.
Donna struggles to get through her usual lesson plans, and she is in no mood to discipline unruly students.
Passing notes in math class. Back down. Oh!
Donna is suddenly stricken with excruciating stomach pains.
Go, Julia, go get Mrs. Cotton. Go get Mrs. Cotton.
What could be attacking her body with such violence?
It's okay, just sit down. Just get down.
I really thought, as many other staff members did, that she had acquired an illness. At the very beginning, we thought she had like a flu virus. That's what we thought she had.
Donna's symptoms come and go for several days, but she can't figure out how a common flu could be making her this sick. Her stomach pains are excruciating, and they attack without warning.
When I go into school, I have to walk up a flight of stairs. And being the way my legs were, I literally crawled up the stairs. My principal saw me and he said, "Donna, what are you doing here?" And I said, "I'm trying to do my job." And he took one look at me and said, "Go home."
Donna barely has enough energy to make it home.
Hey, honey.
She still thinks she is feeling the lingering effects of a potent but common illness.
Hey, sweetie. Hey.
She has no idea that her life is in danger.
Hey, boy, you want to come with us?
I thought it was a sinus infection. It got a little bit worse as far as getting sharp pains in my stomach, and then I thought it was the flu.
But Donna's husband Jim and 16-year-old son Steve can see her illness is far more serious than she thinks.
She just was not feeling, it was like she had this flu that would not go away. And she started getting progressively worse. I mean, it was obvious it was not just a cold.
Could something at Donna's school be making her sick? Donna's husband, Jim, is extremely worried about his wife. Donna has never been sick like this before.
How you feeling?
Hey, easy around the table there.
Just a few weeks previously, Jim and Donna were enjoying a summer camping trip and a barbecue with Jim's family in rural Missouri.
Jim and my brother-in-law Richard would take turns barbecuing and everything, and we just had a good time.
We enjoyed one another, laughed at one another's jokes, and really enjoyed going out with the kids, and we're just being very, very happy.
Honey, are you okay?
But a few weeks later, the mysterious symptoms return. It is apparent that her health is rapidly deteriorating. Could Donna have been bitten by something in the country? Could the food she ate on her trip be making her sick? If that's true, why isn't anyone else in the family ill?
All of a sudden, there was an extreme physical change with her body. And I began to think something is really pulling her down or draining her body. And that's when several people start saying, oh, she has cancer. She must have cancer and she doesn't want to talk about it.
Donna finally decides it's time to see a doctor. Her symptoms may seem common. Stomach pains, nausea, vomiting, all signs of a flu. But why would she be so sick? And why is she losing feeling in her legs?
My family doctor wasn't really sure what it was, so he sent me to a stomach doctor.
Donna is comforted that Jim is willing to go to all of her doctor's appointments.
Everything looks good. Everything is normal.
Jim went with me to all the visits and wanted to make sure that he knew what was going on as well as I did, and wanted to make sure that he knew what medicine I was taking.
So, what we're looking at here.
Donna's gastroenterologist has a simple answer for her. She has an illness called IBS, or irritable bowel syndrome.
The IBS symptoms were very similar as far as the cramping in the stomach and the pain, and he said it would come and go. And that's what I was going through. It was coming and going. So the symptoms seemed to fit.
Donna may have to take medication when her symptoms flare up. But IBS is not life-threatening.
I was relieved that, okay, we found what it was. I've got some pills now to cope with it, and I'll just learn to live with it and do the best I can the rest of my life. And I was satisfied.
Donna's satisfaction at finding an answer, however, is short-lived.
Thank you.
About a month later, her symptoms return, and they're stronger than ever.
All she was lying on the couch. If she wasn't lying on the couch, she was in the bathroom getting sick. And I would have to listen to her moan from downstairs. I mean, there were nights I would cry myself to sleep because there was nothing I could do to help her out. I just lied in my bed listening to her.
It's hard to pinpoint and say there's one certain thing that tells you you're dying, but I just had the feeling that I was dying.
Donna believes her symptoms are far too excruciating for a simple case of IBS. She fears she may never recover from her illness.
I called my mom. I needed somebody to talk to, and basically I was calling to tell her goodbye.
Look, I didn't say I wouldn't take you, okay?
Well, she called me. She's crying on the telephone because she felt so horrible. And I said, Donna, you belong in the hospital.
Jim was reluctant to take her to the hospital. He wanted to see if the medicine would kick in. But Donna was in so much pain, he had no choice.
He called back in about 10, 15 minutes and said, I'm taking Donna to the hospital. And all I said was, well, thank God.
Could Donna have another illness that doctors can't pinpoint? Something that could take her life this quickly.
Let me go with her. I want to go with my wife. I want to go with my wife.
I don't understand what's wrong with her. You know, I just don't know what's going on.
Please.
I live 5 minutes from St. Anthony's Hospital. And I was hoping to God she'd still be alive when I got up there.
Why are you breathing now?
Donna's body is quickly shutting down. She starts to have violent seizures.
She deteriorated so quickly. She lost control of even her ability to breathe. I felt that she would die.
Emergency room. I'm taking up some abdominal pain.
She was so sick. She was in critical condition, and there were many times where we thought she may not make it.
The emergency room is sent into a frenzy.
She went into code blue. That meant she had died.
She has no pulse now, Doc.
The hospital staff's worst fears are realized. Donna's heart stops beating, and doctors call an emergency code blue. Donna is dying. Doctors work to revive Donna's lifeless body, but the odds of her surviving are slim. If doctors are not successful, they may never find answers to a puzzling question. What suddenly killed Donna Boley?
I think that's an interesting thing.
This one piece will make 52 layers.
Watch on mobile devices or the big screen. All for free. No subscription required.
In a St. Louis hospital, Donna Boley clings to life. Just hours earlier, her heart stopped twice. And both times, doctors had to revive her with life-saving equipment.
It was very frustrating for the staff because we didn't know what we were dealing with. We didn't know why she was as sick as she was.
This girl presented to the emergency.
How could doctors' original diagnosis of irritable bowel syndrome be so far off? What kind of life-threatening illness could mask itself as a mild condition? Donna's husband, Jim, is distraught at her bedside, and her sons are devastated by her condition.
Sleeping,
Your mom's hooked up to all these machines and all these wires and all these cords and plugs and everything are just coming out of her mouth and her nose, and it's like, I mean, what are you supposed to think when you see your mom in a situation like that? And I remember feeling very helpless.
Doctors look over Donna's charts and run several tests for clues.
But it's still not quite clear, you know.
We were testing for a variety of conditions. We were trying to see if she had a condition known as sepsis, which is a overwhelming infection of the bloodstream from a source somewhere in the body. Her chest x-ray showed what we call infiltrates, or haziness in the lungs.
But these symptoms don't lead doctors any closer to a diagnosis.
We were really baffled about this case. She had a variety of symptoms that we couldn't pigeonhole in a single diagnosis.
Even though doctors don't find the cause of Donna's illness, she makes a miraculous recovery. Donna is relieved when doctors tell her she shouldn't feel permanent effects from her seizures or heart failure. She is released from the hospital only weeks after her brush with death.
They really didn't think that there would be any damage. At that point, they just wanted me to get stronger and wanted me to be able to go home.
While While Donna takes time off from teaching to recover, Jim tries to nurse her back to health.
Lola, I was going to bring this to you.
Jim was very concerned, and he would come home after school or after his meetings and come in and fix me something to eat.
She just seemed to be very happy with what was going on in the house, and he did all the cooking.
Donna is relieved that her old symptoms have not returned.
After I got home, I was still very weak. I didn't have the stomach cramping. I didn't have the vomiting. Things seemed to be clearing up.
Several months after her brush with death, and almost a year after her initial symptoms, Donna is back teaching 7th grade math.
Give drugs to Jason.
But the stress of her job drains her.
I saw you.
No. School started and she was coming home exhausted every day. And I mean, even exhausted for her. I mean, she's run down at the end of days, but I mean, this was just, she'd come home and all she did was lay on the couch.
Donna was recovering at home, but now at school, she is feeling the effects of her agonizing pains.
I told her that I saw you giving drugs to one of my...
Her job is made more difficult by a problem student.
You ain't catch me doing nothing like that, man. No baseball.
We both have been teaching middle school, and I know middle school behaviors. And I know a student can be hyper and angry one day, and the next day they're calm down and loving. You're their best friend.
Go to the principal.
Could the stress of work be causing her symptoms?
You better go there right now. I'm on my way.
She didn't have as much energy. She looked pale. She looked very weak.
I assumed maybe it was stress at school. It just seemed to be worse than it was before. I talked to my mom because I was getting upset again. It was all coming back.
My daughter, Donna, you are burning up, daughter. She was in so much pain at times, and I said, exactly where is your pain? And she showed me like down in her stomach, and I said, well, that looks about like when before I had my hysterectomy.
She said, try going to your gynecologist. Maybe we need to go that route.
Your fever is just too high. You have got...
Donna's mother had the same stomach pains before she was diagnosed with ovarian cysts. Could Donna's illness be genetic? Her family hopes her gynecologist will finally solve the mystery of her strange symptoms.
Dr. Kravitz, we have a visitor in the main lobby. Dr. Kravitz, visitor in the main lobby.
She just looked generally ill, very sick appearing, which was a great concern to me. And I thought, is there something serious going on there? Does she have cancer?
Hey, Donna, how you feeling?
Doctors have now ruled out the possibility that Donna's only illness is irritable bowel syndrome. But they have no idea what else could be making her so ill.
If you could do that, it'd be great.
Usually people with irritable bowel are otherwise healthy. They don't look like somebody that has some chronic illness that's wearing you down. Whereas in her case, she was worn down.
Within days, her doctor tells Donna he may have the answer.
How are you doing, Donna?
They found a cyst on my one ovary. So we decided to go ahead and do a hysterectomy.
With the finding on ultrasound that wasn't getting better, we thought, well, we better go in and make sure that she doesn't have anything bad going on.
Doctors aren't sure whether the cyst is the answer to Donna's long illness. Is it possible the cyst is cancerous? But before they can operate, Donna is taken to the hospital in severe pain.
She had lowered her blood pressure, she had a high fever, and we thought either something had ruptured or she got infected from whatever was in there.
Okay, get the tongue compressor. We need something.
Stay with her.
She had so many seizures. It was at least 8 that, on the floor then, and then she had seizures downstairs. So, I mean, it was a lot of seizures.
Donna was extremely ill when she came to us. She would come in and out of her confusion. Once in a while she would be with it and seem to know what was going on. At other times she did not.
No previous history of seizure disorder.
Hospital staff try to control Donna's fever. Just days before her operation, Donna's illness has become life-threatening once again.
Her condition was accelerating. She was becoming more ill and unstable.
Keep her head turned to one side so she won't aspirate, okay?
What strange illness is draining the life from Donna? Her doctors must solve the mystery soon, or it may destroy her forever. For 2 days, high fevers and seizures have left Donna Boley unconscious and battling for her life. Her husband Jim is by her side as she slowly regains consciousness.
Jim.
I woke up and Jim was sitting there, and I said, "What's going on?" And I thought I just slept for a couple hours. And he said, "Sweetheart, it's Wednesday."
You really scared me.
Jim has spent 2 days and nights at Donna's bedside.
I was very thankful that Jim was at the hospital with me. He had been there quite a bit since I'd lost 2 days.
Hi, Donna. How are you doing?
Donna is scheduled for surgery the following day.
You've been resting a couple of days.
Doctors ask Donna if she feels strong enough to go ahead with the operation. They tell her that a 2-day coma shouldn't prevent immediate surgery.
They were concerned about doing the surgery, and I said, "Just do it, let's get it over with." I wanted that cyst out because I just felt that's what was causing the problem now.
Okay. All right.
The surgery will go on as planned. If the procedure is a success, Donna's long fight with her mysterious illness could be over. But doctors fear it may not be that simple.
I was very concerned that she had some sort of chronic underlying illness that was severe, like an ovarian cancer.
Come on, doctor. Give me some retraction here so I can get this cyst out, okay? And you just kind of pull it apart.
But her doctor is confused by what he finds.
She did have a very small cyst on her ovary, but it was awful small cyst that caused all that pain.
The surgery is going smoothly, but suddenly something goes terribly wrong.
At that point, she was having difficulty with respirations, keeping her blood pressure up.
Donna's vital signs are dangerously low.
I thought she was going to die right then and there. She was as sick as anybody that I'd ever seen, and she was moments from death.
Donna is stabilized, but doctors can't figure out why she would suddenly crash.
You think back, was there bleeding? Did she get an infection? Why would she deteriorate that quickly from a very low-key, uneventful surgery?
Doctors look over Donna's charts. They are still baffled by her string of illnesses.
The internist and I had trained together in internal medicine and had the same mentor who had taught us to look under every rock and to turn up all the unusual things, because that was his thing, and that's the way we were trained.
Donna's doctors consider her bizarre mixture of symptoms, like her chronic ill health and the overwhelming infection in her body.
Then something just started clicking in my mind. I said, abdominal pain, anemia. And with my old training, I said, you know, what about something just reminds me of one of these weirdo heavy metal poisonings.
Donna's symptoms are similar to ones they would see with someone being poisoned with arsenic. Could Donna have been poisoned? But how?
Arsenic symptoms are so common and typical of like the flu or possibly food poisoning that most physicians tend to focus on that area to see if there's some sort of biological reason why you have these symptoms.
Donna, hi, could you wake up, Donna? We're going to take you off of the respirator to see how...
Donna once again fights off her sickness and makes a miraculous recovery.
Come out, aren't you?
Her family is in the room when she is taken off her respirator.
A little for me? Okay, great. Once more.
I remember seeing her hooked up to all the machines, and it was very, very hard to see that. I didn't know what to think. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to stand.
They brought both of my boys in, and they said, okay, we're going to get your mom off of this now and get her so that she can breathe on her own. They said that the anesthetic had mixed with something in my system, and it caused my system to shut down.
The following day, Donna gets good news. Her ovarian cyst is benign.
Any problem at all? I think everything's...
I figured that, we're in good shape now. She's not going to be bleeding. We got that out of there. She's not going to have pain.
We want to do some more tests.
As a precaution, doctors tell Donna they would like to test her blood for heavy metals poisoning.
Poison?
They ask if she remembers being exposed to any poisons.
Hello, how are you today?
She recalls buying rat poison for Jim's garden.
Yeah, I want to get rid of those squirrels.
We had a problem with squirrels getting into our tomatoes, and he suggested that we go and pick up some rat poison to put around and keep the squirrels out.
Could Donna have accidentally ingested rat poison?
We were grasping for straws because we couldn't come up with anything. We couldn't find anything. We went ahead and ordered a heavy metal toxicity screen to look for poisoning or toxicity.
But the test shows nothing. The results come back negative. There are no toxins in Donna's blood. But as suddenly as Donna's illness brought her to the brink of death, she just as quickly recovers. After 3 more weeks in the hospital, she is finally released.
I had no more symptoms. I started feeling good. I felt better than I had felt in years. And I just figured, finally, the hysterectomy is what took care of it, and I was going to be okay.
Donna's family celebrates her return from the hospital.
Donna and her husband were extremely loving, an extremely gracious host and hostess.
Even Donna and Jim's relationship is getting a boost.
He went out and bought himself some sexy underwear, and I was like, this is cool. He was doing this for me. There wasn't a day went by that he did not tell me he loved me. There wasn't a day went by that he didn't kiss me goodbye when he left in the morning and kiss me hello when he got home in the afternoon.
Mom.
The Boley family returns to their normal routines.
Dad cooked breakfast on Sunday mornings. Dad made the dinner at night. Mom did the laundry. That's just the way they developed, I guess, is Dad assumed the cooking role and Mom assumed other roles, so.
I'm going to make you a milkshake.
Jim dotes on Donna. He worries about controlling every aspect of her recovery.
You guys are going to do the dishes.
I open the refrigerator, and I see this bowl of Jell-O sitting in the refrigerator. And I'm like, hey, Dad, can I have some of this Jell-O? And he's like, well, I really made it especially for your mother.
this for your mom.
All that.
I made this for your mom. Go sit down.
That was the answer to that question.
After several months at home, Donna is finally able to return to the job she loves, teaching. But Donna's classroom seems to bring out the worst in her.
5y =
It started hitting me again. The same cramping, the same vomiting, the same symptoms. I was devastated because I didn't know where to turn at this point.
Turn to page 169.
Why is Donna getting sick again? And why does it always seem to coincide with being back at school?
All right, you guys, I want you to do questions 1 through 25.
She was feeling so horrible that she had no energy to even walk. I mean, she was miserable.
I finally thought, I've got to go to the doctor. My family doctor took one look at me and he said, we are not going through this again. So I ended up going to the hospital.
Donna is referred to a rheumatologist.
We are sometimes asked to see patients where it's not clear what's going on, since the connective tissue diseases can present in a variety of bewildering ways. So we were really trying to find one condition that might explain all of her symptoms.
Donna also has an unusual new symptom: hair loss. She must undergo several new tests.
Dr. Spicer came in and decided to do a spinal tap. They ran extensive blood work on me.
We got your test results back.
He came back at the end and he said, you don't really fit the characteristics, but we think you might have lupus.
We just got the test back. So you tested.
Lupus is an autoimmune disease, and by autoimmune, I mean a disease in which the immune system sometimes turns against our own bodies.
Okay. Anything else?
But hair loss isn't usually a symptom of lupus. So Dr. Spicer must search for another reason Donna could be losing her hair.
Turned out that the hair loss was actually a chronic thing, and in fact a familial condition that she'd had for a long time.
With the new lupus diagnosis, doctors think they have finally gotten to the bottom of Donna's problem. They release her from the hospital. But within days, her mysterious illness rears its ugly head once again.
Donna? Donna! Hey!
If doctors don't solve the mystery soon, Donna Boley may die.
Honey! Donna!
In a St. Louis hospital, Donna Boley is losing her battle against a debilitating and mysterious illness.
Great, fantastic.
About 4 or 5 doctors.
For several months, doctors have failed to figure out the cause of her ailment, and her condition is now deteriorating.
Her condition was that of being very confused. She was verbal when I first saw her, but she became more and more confused and unaware of her environment. She became almost flaccid. Her extremities were very weak. She couldn't move them very well, and she had difficulty breathing because of her musculature was so weak.
Doctors have little time to get to the bottom of her illness. A nurse wheels Donna to her next test.
We usually don't go down with the patient, but I was going to go down with her because she was so bad.
Nurse Garrett forgets Donna's chart in her room. But when she gets close to the doorway, she overhears something shocking. Something she never thought possible.
And I remember just kind of bracing myself against this wall, just falling back, and I'm like, God, what do I do? I thought, this is why she's having seizures.
Could a nurse have learned a critical clue to Donna's life-threatening illness? Nurse Garrett tells one of Donna's doctors about the vital piece of information she overheard.
He goes, do you know what you could lose? You could lose your license, and you can be sued for malpractice, and you could be sued for everything if this isn't true. And I said, I think it's true.
Okay, I'll take care of it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Based on this new piece of information, Donna's physician orders an additional test. But Donna's condition is getting worse. Though her mind is sharp, her body is deteriorating. She is losing feeling in her legs up to her hands. She is so weak, she can't even sign her name.
She went from being able to talk and eat to the point where she was not even able to breathe on her own.
Donna, we're going to be doing that procedure in just a few minutes. She gradually became paralyzed from the toes upward until everything below the level of her neck was completely paralyzed. She could not breathe at all. The muscles that moved the lungs were completely paralyzed too, and she was on a ventilator.
Let's go ahead and get this electromyogram.
Doctors test to see the extent of Donna's paralysis.
It was frightening to watch a woman so young, with young children, be unable to do anything below her neck, so that we had to do everything for her.
Miss Boley, it's going to take just a few.
Because of Nurse Garrett's suspicions about Donna's illness, she is also retested for heavy metals poisoning. This time, instead of testing Donna's blood or urine for poisons, they will test her hair.
Hair testing is very good for determining prolonged exposure. Your hair grows about an inch a month. So that means anything during that month that you're exposed to is incorporated into the hair.
Why would doctors test Donna again for poison, especially after the first test came up negative? When the results of the test come back, the outcome is shocking. It comes back positive. Donna has been poisoned with arsenic.
The arsenic levels in her hair increased, and they increased dramatically every month, up till and including the time of her hospital admission.
If Donna was sick during the previous poisons test, why didn't it pick up arsenic the first time?
A heavy metals test can come up negative. If you look at a compound such as arsenic, it's out of your blood in about 2 days.
But arsenic stays in hair indefinitely. Doctors only tested Donna's blood before. They didn't test her hair.
I was not suspecting it strongly enough to do that. It was just one of many different possible explanations, and in fact some of the tests were actually leading us away from the idea of heavy metal poisoning as being the diagnosis.
Can Donna stay alive long enough to help find the person responsible for poisoning her?
She can't talk, she can't verbalize, but she was awake and, in this paralyzed body, and it was very difficult to communicate. She couldn't speak.
Detectives are contacted, but it will be difficult to get any information about the poisoning from Donna.
I'm Detective Grant.
We would start with letter A and go through each letter, and when we'd get to the right letter, if she could barely blink her eyes, we had to go through and spell each word.
Do that twice for nut. The first thing I talked to Donna about was to see if she had administered this to herself, if she had attempted suicide. To try to find out Donna is...
As with any poisoning, detectives first want to rule out the possibility that Donna could have done this to herself. Could her illness have gotten so bad that she wanted a way out of her misery?
Blink your eyes maybe one time for yes.
Her doctors don't think so.
That was a yes.
The information showing that she had been exposed over a period of time is very important. It eliminates questions like suicide,
That was a yes.
It shows that she had been poisoned chronically or long term.
I've got an alphabet chart here. What I'm going to do is...
With suicide ruled out, Detective Griemel continues the questioning.
I asked her if she thought she got the poison at home. She indicated no. If she got it from friends, she indicated no. If she got it from work and using the board, she basically spelled out that the school year before, she had had some problems with a couple of young students who had talked about being involved in the drug culture.
Could Donna have been poisoned by one of her students? It seemed possible since her illness coincided with the school year.
I told her that I was going to leave, contact the principal that night, get the address of these two young men, and bring them in for questioning.
Back at the Boley household, Jim has a difficult job to do. He must tell his two sons their mom has been poisoned.
They came to my brother and I and said, they found out what's wrong, your mom's been poisoned with arsenic.
Is she going to be okay?
Like Donna, Jim also thinks a student might be responsible.
He said, well, you know, she teaches summer school and she has a glass of water sitting on her desk. He said, I just have a feeling it's probably a student.
Donna is now under constant police surveillance.
Once the blood test came back and confirmed that there was a poisoning involved, we moved Donna to another intensive care in the hospital that could provide the same care that we were giving her, but to protect her identity.
The following day, Detective Griemel returns. He has spoken with the kids at school and doesn't believe they're involved.
Yes, so you can't hear me.
Donna's reaction to this news stuns Detective Griemel.
It might have had anything to do with this poisoning.
She started crying. She was upset, clearly upset. She said she didn't want me to leave, that she wasn't in pain, that there was something else I needed to know.
We've been to the school.
After months of violent pain, does Donna finally know the source of her hellish torture? But who would want to kill her? And why? From her hospital bed, a nearly paralyzed Donna Boley communicates vital information to detectives. Information that could lead to those responsible for poisoning her with arsenic.
I think she might be the most unique case I've ever cared for. Because her little body was a crime scene.
Children? Kids at school?
Donna signals to detectives that she may have been poisoned by former students. But Detective Griemel isn't so sure.
That spells kid. Are you spelling kid?
Initial conversations with family members didn't indicate there were any confrontation with any students.
Want to look at?
Was it possible the poisoning could have been an accident? Could Donna have gotten it from something at home or in her classroom?
We went through the house and searched for anything that might have residue of arsenic on it. We took some pesticides and herbicides, some rat poison that was used in the backyard and in the house, a number of other things.
Can you hear me?
Even though he can't pinpoint a suspect, Detective Griemel thinks it's unlikely Donna's poisoning was accidental.
I didn't believe that in a family of four, one person could have accidentally ingested a lethal amount of arsenic at home, and the others have no signs of arsenic in their system.
That's a yes.
Detective Griemel is stunned by what Donna reveals next.
You ready? Okay.
She spelled out for me that she was afraid Jim, her husband, was involved.
N. Okay, you're doing fine.
But if Jim really did try to kill her, why didn't Donna accuse him first?
Donna, are you saying that your husband possibly poisoned?
I think in her heart she knew he was involved, but she didn't want to believe it, and probably initially didn't want to direct me in that direction.
Donna is able to communicate with Detective Greenwell why she thinks Jim could be responsible.
She told me that a few days before school started, that Jim gave her some milk to drink, and that when she finished the milk, in the bottom of the glass there was a pink residue. She said she asked Jim about the pink residue in the bottom of the glass, and he told her that's Sam's milk. It sometimes does that.
Donna also explains how Jim could have gotten the arsenic.
He suggested that we go to the feed store and pick up some rat poison to put around the tomatoes and keep the squirrels out. And as a result, I ended up picking out the first poison that was used on me.
Donna also thinks Jim may have been having affairs. A few weeks before her final hospitalization, Donna overheard Jim on the phone talking about another woman. She now realizes the new underwear Jim bought wasn't for her.
He was talking to someone, talking about that he likes girls with long hair and how sweet they look, and just talking different ways about this girl.
I'm gonna let the nurse know that I'm done here.
Donna also doesn't know that someone else in the hospital shares her suspicions.
When I came in, I knew he was on the phone, so I thought, oh, well, I'll give him some privacy, and started to turn around to go out till he finished. And that's when I heard him talking real lovey-dovey to somebody, and I knew it wasn't his wife. And then he started talking about arsenic.
Could it be that the man at Donna's bedside throughout her illness is also trying to kill her? It was Nurse Garrett's suspicions that led doctors to test Donna a second time for poisons.
She immediately got in touch with the doctor that was on call that night, and that nurse saved Donna's life. That nurse saved Donna's life.
Hey, Jim, the lab report says...
Detectives questioned Jim for 12 hours.
And I know it didn't come from the kids at school.
They are getting nowhere
I don't think it came from your kids.
until Jim cracks under the pressure.
Is that what it was?
Mr. Boley broke down and started talking about how he was poisoning his wife, and subsequently the prosecutor's office issued a warrant charging him with assault first degree and armed criminal action.
Look, I love my wife, okay?
My mom came in to visit me in the evening, and I used the letterboard, and I spelled out, "Where's Jim?" And with that, she came over to my bed, and she leaned over and she said, "Honey, he's been arrested. He confessed."
Donna Boley wonders what Jim's motive could have been for trying to kill her. She thinks it boils down to greed and sex.
Jim wanted a different life. I thought we had a good marriage. Apparently, it wasn't as good as I thought. And Jim wanted to get the insurance money and go on dating the other women that he had on the side and continue on with life without me.
In January 1994, Jim Boley was convicted of first-degree assault and armed criminal action. He was sentenced to 2 consecutive life terms in state prison. Donna still struggles with the ravaging effects of the poison, but she hasn't let the past scar her.
Mentally, I'm healthy. I am remarried, and I've got a wonderful husband, and I've got a wonderful life, and I'm enjoying living. If I had not been able to come back to teaching and start my life back over again, I would have really felt that Jim had won everything. And I kept that thought out of my mind because he was not going to win. He had knocked me down, but he was not going to keep me down.